Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before I do begin, let me give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. Now, we had Deku. We also had the forces who were battling at Fort Stonefen. Izuku, he's discovered what Spirit Level 4 can do. Whenever he was fighting off against a Bone Claw and he had one in front of him, one behind him, he thought he was going to have a bit of problems. However, thanks to his spirit manifesting, he was able to take the one on in front of him. Behind him, the one was attacked by the manifestation. Now, Deku, he's quite surprised at what this ability can do. However, whenever amplified by Kirishima's power, it truly is a dangerous ability. These two are quite the powerful duo. They fought off in a battle, killed 5 Bone Claws, managed to take out the forces at this fort, and whenever they had to deal with an ogre warlord, the person in charge of controlling the Bone Claws, it meant a bit. Commander Hawk nearly died. He would have been impaled by the spear had Deku not jumped in the way, and in taking this blow, he was stabbed by a very large spear that went straight through the wyvern leather and broke many of the metal plates on the front of his armor. Now, after Deku used healing magic to close the wound, they were able to take out the ogre. And in doing so, not only has Deku and Kirishima leveled up a bit, but they were also able to properly secure the fort, and the Bone Claws were not able to regenerate in time to revive. Now then, with their evil master dead, they had a lot of cleaning up to do. They celebrated their victory and healed their wounded. They've got to take care of their dead and hold this fort. The leader of York is already aware of the situation. He is sending in troops to help them and hopefully back up what they can do. However, the next morning, it was time to clean up after their mess. And with that being said, we do actually have about 3 days later. Deku, he does still sit here in the middle of the courtyard. The fort's been cleaned, troops have been properly assessed, and those people, they were escorted away from the area, back towards a human nation, back towards a human village. Their home has been devastated. And while they might not be able to heal fully from this incident, they are at least given a new path. And Izuku, he does feel a little odd about it. The ogre, it's something that he had to kill. He's not unfamiliar with killing, but he doesn't like it. He knows it's necessary from time to time. And it does still unsettle his mind. This being a thought that does go through his head. Him standing here, as right now he does continue to work on his stance. As there is where he does have a blindfold covering his head and bandages still somewhat covering his chest. As Kirishima, he does a stand there as well. Him in a similar position. A blindfold on and not wearing his upper armor. However, he does still have some bracers on his wrist. And Izuku is trying to instruct him about what he's doing. Him practicing his ability to conceal himself while trying to teach Kirishima the move he stole, quote unquote, from Bakugo. Search magic. It's a powerful ability. And had he not thought to try and figure out what he was doing, it could have been bad for them. He would have been able to detect their magic. Sir Theodore's way of picking it up is interesting. He's still new to that, but combining the two, Deku turning his head and seeing the outline of many things. He can almost see the world without anything. The color of magic and Well, many things. It's beautiful. It's almost like he's seeing it differently. And he does a turn, looking towards Kirishima and seeing his magical aura surrounding him. It's powerful. And even whenever he doesn't have it activated, it does still burn a little brighter. It does have a red glow, though that could be from something else, however. And he does get a turn, looking around and seeing some auras walking towards him. They're small and faint. However, they're not dim. He can clearly see them. And he does go to feel a pulse shoot through the ground and turn, as Kirishima does a turn looking directly at Deku. And he does get to see the outline of his face, as he does go to pull the blindfold off and open his eyes, asking Kirishima, who does do something similar, as he does get to reappear talking about it. So does he understand it? Wow. That's odd, right? I mean, it's how I saw the bone claws. But I can see a lot of things. I mean, I know the ability to sense mana. This is advanced, isn't it? I think it is. In a way, I think our mentors were trying to get us to do that. Though it does tell me that Bakugo's ahead of us. You still don't like that, do you? For good reason. Erodos walking up with two different people, Ogami and Jabu, two Onis who do express about if they do plan to go out hunting today, since it is on the schedule. Both of us, you are hunting. We need a hunting party, and one of the heroes is good. I heard that we might find some wild animals nearby. Boars would be most typical in the area, though with those creatures driven back, I'm not so sure. They're prevalent in our nation. Really? Yes, they are. Oliver walking up. Before, he does try to ask Izuku exactly if he needs a hunting partner. Him walking up and slamming Deku in the back. Before Izuku does a turn, and he doesn't really get a flinch. Oliver, somewhat feeling his hand, somewhat feel a little hard, since he didn't expect him to stiffen up like a brick wall. Yeah, maybe, but are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine. Leg still feels a little off, but I'll be alright. Though, maybe Pyra should come? You know, just for safety's sake. She knows the woods pretty well. And with your ability, I'd say we can find some good game. You know? Him, somewhat, going to raise an eyebrow to Izuku. And Deku does talk about it. Turning as Pyra does come walking up, asking if they're going to go hunting. Yeah, we might. Though, how big's the hunting party? 2 groups of 6. And that should be sufficient. If we are to expect an attack, then we would expect it at night. Though most people have been staying up later. Okay, that's true. So, what would the teams be? Well, these 2 I can't control. Matter of fact, they'll go ahead of me. Don't be so surprised, Hodas. You're still just a little swordsman. I have fought well. You have, but you could have fought better. You lost your weapon. I fought well. Her staring at them, as the 2 do talk about it. They can pair up with whoever they want, though they'll hunt with each other. They should be fine. They'll cover more ground if they're not being slowed down. And the 2 do to walk off quickly. And Deku does a turn saying that, before Erodos does a step forwards, talking about it. Bring your hand up and ask Izuku if his wound is better. Her going to hover her hand over the area. Ask him if he does still require medical attention. She does know certain herbal remedies that can help. They might not be magical, but they definitely would prevent infection. Deku turning to Pyra, and she does so going to stare at Eridos a bit annoyed before talking about it. Right. She's already helped Izuku with that regard. So leave it alone. Her turning her head before going to tell Oliver. She is going to go out. And if Izuku does want to join her, then she'll go north. That's it. And Deku does turn staring at her confused. Eridos turning her head and talking about how she can go west, since that would probably be better. And Deku does get a turn. Oliver grabbing him by the arm, telling him, okay, he really should sort that out. The group going to part, as Kirishima does talk about it. That didn't look too good. What? Dude, I think Aerodos is trying to make a move on you. She's just worried about me recovering. Dude, okay. I know orcs, and I know Oni. I've dealt with a few. Oliver, from what you've told me, you've dealt with a lot of things. Yeah, that's fair. Reminds me of this one tiefling chick. You know what? Never mind. Anyways, Izuku, you need to know. Oni only show concern like that if they value strength, or if they're looking for a worthy hunter. She's already tried to challenge you again, hasn't she? No, she hasn't. She knows that with any battle on the horizon soon, then it's a bad idea. Right. Anyways, when this is all over, she's gonna want to fight you. I'd say after your magical display a few days ago, you might be the best candidate to be her husband. Husband? What can I say? You're a powerful dude. And if I was able to feel like you the other day, then yeah, I'd say you're probably number one on that list. Him turning, somewhat shooting an arm into Kirishima's side, talking about it, besides this guy. Really? I mean, that's a little surprising. Yup. So, you and Pyra are a thing. I'd say maybe you might want to go talk to her, especially before she leaves. She is a little more the jealous type. Then again, you could get lucky and start forming a harem. What? You know, I sometimes forget you two aren't from this world. I'm saying that if you play your cards right, instead of just picking one, you could have both. You know, maybe start building a bit. Indra going to turn, yelling out to Oliver about how that's really a bad idea. And Oliver does get a turn, waving at her, talking about it. It's worked for some people. And she does go to toss a rock towards him, shouting out about how he sounds like a damn idiot. And Deku does get a turn, staring at Oliver, who does talk about it, shrugging about how, it could work. I mean, many men have tried. I'm assuming that's... Yeah, I've tried. Didn't work out too well. You know, the more and more I hear about you, Oliver, the more I'm questioning some of the things that you've done. I mean, how did you become a knight? That's a longer story. I mean, Told you before, my family was knights. Right, right. Sorry, I'm just. Sometimes I don't know if you're messing with me. I could be. Though, I'm also just trying to mess with you a bit more. I did say something that was a lie during this conversation, though. Oliver, I don't think you're lying to me. I don't think you're smart enough. Ooh, and there is the insults. I'm just messing with you, Izuku. Besides, just saying, chances are pretty good, I'd like to say. I'll pass on that idea. Though I should talk to Pyra. Deku turning, forcing a pulse of the area and trying to find her. Before he does that turn and begin to walk in a direction. And there is later. Deku, he barely misses Pyra. Though, when he does go walking out of the fort and past the guards, they do go to salute him. Him wearing his commander's cape and his armor. Right now, him going to turn, heading her direction and going to catch up. Her quickly walking through the forest. And Deku, he does come running up quickly behind her. Her turning her head and seeing him. Hey, hey, sorry. I talked to Oliver for a minute. And he said something stupid, I'm sure. He was trying to mess with me. I don't really know. You know how he is. Yeah, when he's nervous, he says some stupid shit. Listen, I'm not trying to. I know how they are. The Oni? Yes. Well, no, but. See, I don't know how to talk about this. I think you know, but you don't know. It's annoying. Deku walking right up to her. Before he does, gonna bring his hands up and pull her into a hug. Before expressing, pulling back. Okay. So he knows that they seek valuable warriors, and they challenge them to combat. That's all he really knows. If he wins, there's the offer of being taken as a spouse. It's how their ways operate. And they've done that for a long time. Their race and orcs are valiant warriors. They're very similar, but very different. They have a blood feud. And, well, the way she is acting towards you, I know she's interested. I don't mean to be jealous, but I don't know. You seem to not be aware of it. I just thought she wanted a rematch. That's all. I didn't know it was that serious. I'm sorry. Apology accepted. Her bring her hand up to his forehead, poking it, and telling him he can be a real idiot sometimes. Even if he is, well, even if she can't blame him. And Deku does understand. Before he does go to bring his head forward and go to push it to hers, talking about it. He's sorry. Okay? That's really all he can say. But maybe he should get a book about this stuff. I'm fairly certain someone might have written one at some point. Maybe. That actually does make me ask a question. About some of the stories I've heard of legendary people, of heroes, of your legends. I don't know. I don't know the right way to phrase that question. You're wondering if some of our legendary heroes are people from your world. Not just my world. Any. Any that could be similar or any that could be different. I mean, I'm just curious about this. There's been inventions I've seen that are weirdly similar to stuff I know. If I can look into anything or find records, then I could figure out something. Plus, honestly, maybe going out to a dungeon would be good. I know I've been avoiding those for some time. Yeah, you would have to be careful about a mimic, though. Deku going to give her a kiss, talking about it, pulling away that she is right. She's very right. Has she been in a dungeon before? I've been to a few. Though I don't go down to the lower floors. It does get dangerous. Maybe soon we'll go to a dungeon. Maybe try and find some treasure. Hell, maybe we can find crowns or something like that. Something fancy, something nice. Tell you what, after all this is over and we do get back to the capital or stop by some big town that's not York, we go on a date. Really? Yes. Yes, a proper date. No armor, no swords, and how about no bows? We can go around town and see how things are. Just my way of making it up to you. I mean, I do feel like an idiot. Her kissing Deku again. Before she does, gonna plant another kiss on his lips again. Talking about it. She is down for that. That sounds great. Right. All right, I can figure that out later. Now I'm almost waiting for that attack to happen tonight. I wouldn't want to jinx us. Maybe. Maybe. Though, Jesus. Are you on night watch today? No. Right, well, I am. Maybe we can talk a bit more later. I can explain some things to you when it's just the two of us. Her turning away, before she has a drawn arrow from her quiver, telling him. It would be quite informative for him. He doesn't understand. Going to send a pulse to the ground and telling her. There's something nearby that they can take out. It seems like it might be an ox. Seriously? Damn. That would be good to bring back. Right. I'll keep it up to you. Keep it up. Oh, about the animal or the date? Right. Her smiling. And Deku does a smile back, feeling a little less stressed about the current situation, since this is still new to him. His first real relationship. And he almost overlooked it. Okay, so maybe be a bit more aware of that. Be aware that apparently Aerodos might like him? Yeah, okay. A powerful swordswoman. She could be a good addition to the group, but that would be a terrible misunderstanding. Okay, so if she's a traveling swordsman, then she might want to travel with them. He'll have to be ready to take down her offer. Reject it? Yeah. Yeah, that probably would be best. Him trying to think about this. And they do eventually go to find the ox. As they do see the massive creature. And it definitely will provide a good amount of meat for the camp. And they do go to take it on, Pyra using wind magic in her arrow, and being able to get a clear shot to the beast's heart. And Izuku, he does go to carry this creature back to the camp. And when people do to see the two, they are quite happy about the bounty they've come back with, since it only took them about an hour to come back. And Deku, he does try to talk about a few things with some other people. And when groups do begin to return, they are all happy. Food is made, and what meat they don't use right then and there, they do begin to start drying for jerky. And some people, they are quite lively within the camp. Reinforcements are going to arrive. Hawk is aware of this, and he does currently someone sit here talking with the king, still hearing about how reinforcements are arriving soon. And whenever the attack on the fortress does begin, they simply have to hold off on these creatures. Hold off on whatever is being thrown at them. The fact that Bone Claws were among those forces was unnatural. It isn't good. Whatever is currently at play here, it's dark forces. Forces they don't want to deal with. Yet, they are forced to come up against. And this, it does worry the man. He can send word back to their mentors, send word back to many people. Though, someone does go step into the room of the king. And the man, he does look up. As a red-haired man, he does go stepping forwards. And whenever people do begin to stare at him, he does a turn, waving them off and expressing to King Dothra that he does seek an audience with the man. Him turning and seeing the man before he does go to step forwards into the room, going to express, bowing his head slightly, that he is humbled to make his acquaintance. He is quite happy to check up on the status of a few things, see how things have gone while he does stay here. Your apprentice has done well. That's good to hear. However, I am more curious about Theodore's apprentice. I see. He's done well as well. He's learned magic types. Of course Theodore wouldn't tell him that. You are concerned about something? He's spreading himself too thin. Like a damn fool. How many did he learn? I do not know. He may have learned many. Usin, you dead fool. I'm dealing with another one. You dealt with something similar to this? I have. A friend of mine who passed. It does appear that I might have to step in soon. Perhaps train him. Theodore. Well, I'll have to inform him of that. I can pass word along. I do have to meet with him soon anyhow. Figure out what he's doing, and what his current plans are. Do have a good proper day? The man staring at the red-haired man, before Dothra does get to stand and inform him that can be done. Going to bow his head, expressing that this conversation has been nice, and to have a nice day. And the man, he does get a turn, waving his hand off to the king. And some people, they do get to see this spectacle. This brazen man, this fool who so recklessly just discards what this guy says, what their leader says. He's the most powerful, but he does stand there and take this insult. And it does have many of them curious. as the man does get a silent whistle, walking away and trying to contact his friend. Since it is a course that does need to be corrected. And if the boy is to be properly trained to fight a demon lord, well, he might have to learn a few tricks. He does wonder about a lot of things, however. About the other heroes. Perhaps change up their training. See what more they can do. Perhaps he's correct. Send the boy under a different mentor. Then train with him? Yes, that would be proper. He trained with Voss, a monk. If the man taught him anything, it would be good. He does got to bring up a magic crystal, beginning to contact his friend. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.